All right, team, chapter 7. Here we are, choosing who to empower and when. I'll try to be shorter this time because I know I went a little long in chapter 6. But I think this is a critical chapter for us as we're growing as leaders and having people under us that are serving for, Dream Center, or serving with us, or people that are coming up under us as staff, different places that people are serving and rising into different areas of leadership and responsibility. So choosing who to empower and when. The first part that stood out to me is what it takes to be a good coach. And there's 3 areas that really inside of that stood out to me. Help the players develop team chemistry together so they can enjoy one another and value one another. I feel like I look at that as like creating a family atmosphere where people are coming together and they are of one mission, one value, one mind, but also they can have fun together and really work together well instead of just doing tasks. So I think that's super valuable. Be able to connect with and motivate different kinds of temperaments in ways that help them. We're going to have tons of different types of personalities that are going to come and serve under our leadership and be under our covering, and we need to learn how to work with that because we're not going to get the exact people that are just like us, and we don't want that. We want to see people that are different and have different personalities so we can really speak into different people's lives as we minister together. But I think that's an important one, is just knowing that you're going to have to motivate and connect with people differently that have different kinds of temperaments. And so good thing to remember being a good coach. Be able to make proper adjustments in the middle of a game to increase the likelihood of winning. I see this as valuable just in the point that sometimes we launch and get people going in a direction, and it just doesn't mean that that's the way it has to continue. It might mean that we need to adjust and rethink how that person is working, and what their value is, what their sweet spot is. And we had this with, I'll just go back to when I was working in business for the sign company, and we had a kid who we put into vinyl because he really thought he would like to do that, and he was, and it's a detail-oriented job, but it just did not click with him. He didn't have the talent for it, and we were ready to let him go because it just wasn't working. And we moved him and we shifted him into a little bit different area to give him a try over there, and it was like night and day difference. And so it was just a matter of finding that spot that really worked well for him. And so that might happen inside of Dream Center. We might have people coming out and say, I want to serve with kids. I'm gonna, that's my heart. And they come out and you're like, man, you do not serve with kids well. And maybe they're more of a street teams person. You never know. And it's just one of those things to be able to have the willingness to adjust mid-game to see what can make a winning formula inside of that. The other thing was have the ability to see undeveloped or underdeveloped talent in players, which can be strengthened for the players and team's benefit. I think this is super critical too, just being able to witness and see people in there while they're serving, while they're doing what they love, and say there's potential there, and be able to see potential in people and see where you see that undeveloped talent, where that could be possible. And sometimes people it goes back to a few chapters ago where we really need to be calling out the excellence in people and where we see that they're headed, and being able to call that out. Part of that is calling out some of those gifts that we see them working in, and it might be something that's a total blind spot to them, but it's something that we need to be able to recognize and throw out there. The next big section that I loved was who should you empower to have influence and play a significant role in your group or organization. And one portion under that I really enjoyed was someone whom you have dated successfully, and I'll just say dated in quotations, with lower levels of responsibility and influence before marrying into placement of a prominent position. So Same reason that when we have mentors and mentor supports, we're typically not bringing somebody on into a mentor position right away. We're bringing them on into a mentor support role or a different support role where we're dating them and seeing how they operate, how they work with kids, how they work with different adults, right? Before we launch them into a position where they have that primary influence over somebody. And so that's a valuable thing. Someone who has this is another big one. It was someone who has had the proper training for their role, is somebody that you would launch, that you can get in there. This one stood out to me, and it goes back to this acronym. It's called MAWL, MWAL, and it was MAWL, MAWL, which was Model, Assist, Watch, and Leave. And so what you would do is model something for somebody, show them how you do it, and then have them do it and assist them, and then sit back and have them do all of it and watch them and give correction or coach them. And then the last one is leave. And sometimes it's the hardest one, to be able to be like, just actually step out of the place of that responsibility that you used to have, because maybe it was something that you had a lot of ownership over and really wanted to see done well. And so MAWL. Empowerment, this statement really struck a chord with me too. It just said empowerment without training and ongoing relational connection is not true empowerment. Another way that I've heard it put is empowerment without development is not empowerment. It's just handing things off and hoping they go good. And 4 different things that it kind of lists under there, and then I'll wrap it up. But a clear job description, and I feel like we're trying to get better at that with all levels, trying to make sure those job descriptions are very clear for mentors, mentor supports, even our staff, everybody, like having a clear job description. And then watching somebody more experienced in the role, like being able to have them watching, and that's that watch part, right? And then having somebody model that, and then taking over the role with a key person present who's giving feedback. And that's, again, key to being in that assist role, right? Like you taking a back seat and just watching them go. And then performing the role with regular meetings with overseer, mentor, to strengthen heart connections and to see empowerment truly work. So I see, Leah, you do this really well. I see you doing this with Nikki, and just being able to empower her to really run with women's Bible study, and really launching her into that and drawing her into that. And then Nikki and Alea, I see you guys doing this with Kwana, like being able to like pull her up into different things. And I know it's been a little, one of those things that it's a process that we need to keep working on and keep going through. And so it's part of this whole greater thing, is if we can do it well to those that are working with us, we're seeding that into people to do that well for people that are coming under them. Super awesome. I'm excited about this chapter 2. I pray that it's impactful for you, that you can go through there and really see a couple things that stand out to you, that really give you an idea of what it looks like to look for people that you're supposed to be empowering, that you're supposed to be drawing up. And it's not necessarily going to be everybody. Like, not everybody's ready for that drawing, that stretching to get to another level. And some of us aren't ready, or weren't ready before we stepped into something else. And that's one thing that I did see in here that was pretty cool. It was don't discount the importance of giving people opportunities they don't feel they are ready for. So it's empowering people before they seem ready, like not waiting for the situation to be completely perfect before you draw them into something, but being really speaking life into them, and then just really hoping to help them and walk through life with them, and not expecting it to be mess free, but still walking through them and helping them clean up messes if they make them. And so that is chapter 7, and next week we'll be jumping into chapter 8. Cool. See you guys.